If you want to annihilate the New World Order and simultaneously look like a pimp, pick up a Some Black Guy t-shirt at tpublic.com/user/someblackguy. Links in the description below. Stay tuned for water filters at Dick Pills.
Supreme victory!
Bill Nye is a childhood hero to a lot of people, including myself, but now he's been pissing a lot of people off, including myself. I remember the first time I really became fascinated with him, and it was an episode about pressure, and he was talking about water pressure, and just the concentrated PSI that was so strong, it was cutting through metal, and I was just like, wow, you know, as a kid, of course, that shit is like really impressive. So I used to watch his show, Bill Nye the Science Guy, regularly, and growing up and stuff, it was pretty cool to see him still advocating for science, and just recently, he kind of just fell off the deep end. Bill Nye is now diving into the magical fantasy land of progressive identity politics.
It's not magic, my friends. It's science!
And he's doing it by his show, Bill Nye Saves the World. And I've only seen bits and pieces of it, and I'm not gonna watch it all the way through. But I've seen enough of it to where it's just like, what the hell has happened to this guy? Now, I was already kind of getting a little bit annoyed by him because he was, you know, really advocating for a carbon tax or a fee, as he likes to call it. And it's not even just about, like, climate change, because a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't want to talk about that shit. It's all bullshit. I wouldn't go anywhere near that. I think that there is a lot of evidence suggesting that there is such a thing as climate change, but taxing it, I just don't fucking get it.
We would have a fee on carbon dioxide production. And this is our dream on the progressive side of this, on the climate change concern side. If you had a fee on carbon, people would be motivated to produce less carbon dioxide.
You'd think that'd be the outcome, right? But I'm pretty sure the big companies that have been getting away with, you know, taxes, being non-profits or getting all these waivers are pretty much going to find a loophole to not pay all those taxes. And then the small businesses and people are going to get fucked in the ass by these carbon fees. So I think that's already a stupid fucking idea. But now he wants to play make-believe and say stuff like, oh, gender is on a spectrum like sex, you know, there's such a thing as like non-binary and stuff like that, when, you know, before, like any other science or scientist that has come before him has just said there's two genders and they're determined by the chromosomes, something that he said himself as well.
Before you're born, your mom gives you one of her chromosomes and your dad gives you one of his. Mom always gives you an X. And if dad gives you an X too, then you become a girl. But if he gives you his Y, then you become a boy. See, there are only two possibilities. A girl or XY, a boy.
Many months later.
I used to think there were just two settings, male and female. But it's actually a lot sexier than that.
I don't know about you guys, but there's absolutely nothing sexy about this whatsoever.
Check out the smoking hot abacus of sex.
What the fuck is this? Sex.
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 Hey, baby, you want to have some
sex? Now, as you can see, this is a pretty complicated machine. So I'm going to ask for a little help with that. And who better to talk about sex than two cis male white guys?
This dude is falling off the deep end. Why couldn't Bill Nye or anybody, any cis white man or just a cis male for talk about this type of stuff? Like, why is this even mentioned? Why would you say that? Like, how is that even funny?
Derek Muller. Derek, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you, Bill.
I see you have the
pointer of sex.
Of sex.
I don't know if this is a Derek thing, but you know, this guy's name's Derek, my name's Derek, and he has a pointer of sex, and I love putting sex at the end of everything. See my vlog. Wow, look at that. The pillars of sex. So fucking historic. So amazing. It's fucking crazy, man. You got the sea on the horizon. I think that's the sea of sex. Yeah, we Derek's are pretty fucking immature.
Here's what I'm saying. Biologically, not everybody fits into the categories, male or female. And by everybody, I mean every living, reproducing thing. Am I right, Clarence? The clownfish. Here he is. We used to think of gender and sex as synonymous, but these days we use these two words differently. Sex is biological. Gender is how you identify yourself and your experience.
This is really hard to watch, man. This is something, it's like undoing a lot of stuff that we've known to be true. Things that can be, like Occam's razor can be applied to, where it's just a very simple explanation. You know, this is it. And now you have a bunch of people that just want to be heard. They don't want to be normal. They want to live in this fantasy world where there's all these different options and shit. You know, they get mad. Like, you're starting to see on websites where they have multiple options for gender, where it was just always man or woman. Now there's like, oh, fuck that. No, non-binary or something else should be an option. I'm like, why? It's not that fucking serious, dude. I mean, I know to a lot of people it is, but in the grand scale of things, this is extremely trivial, and it's a shame to see Bill Nye, somebody that used to just talk about some real shit, just jump on this fucking this progressive train.
I am biologically male, and I identify myself as a man. Let's say that's me right there. And then this is me identifying myself as a man. So my sex and gender are on the same side of the spectrum. But there are people whose sex and gender are not the same.
So I've been trying to figure out, why is he into this now? Like, why is he so fascinated by this? And one thing I've always known, at least from stuff that I've seen, and that debate that he had with Ken Ham, where he's really interested in learning new stuff. And he said that if new evidence is presented to him, he is willing to change his mind.
What, if anything, would ever change your mind?
We would just need one piece of evidence. We would need the fossil that swam from one layer to another. We would need evidence that the universe is not expanding. We would need evidence that the stars appear to be far away, but they're not. We would need evidence that rock layers can somehow form in just 4,000 years instead of the extraordinary amount. We would need evidence that somehow you can reset atomic clocks and keep neutrons from becoming protons. You bring on any of those things, and you would change me immediately.
You see, the problem is this is not hard evidence. This is just a bunch of speculation. You know, it's to the point where you can just start having people just say fucking whatever they want. Like, I'm this, I'm that. Like, say, at a certain point, people that are calling themselves attack helicopters would gain some validity because this is what they feel like, you know? They don't feel like a man or a woman. They feel like a machine or something. And maybe some of the little metals, maybe the iron in their blood is enough evidence to suggest that, yeah, they are somewhat metallic. So a lot of people are giving Bill Nye shit for, you know, saying like, why does this guy have the authority over any of this shit when he only has a bachelor in mechanical engineering? Well, I mean, I'm not gonna shit on him for that, especially like I don't have a fucking degree at all, you know, and just because, you know, degree or not, I think some people can be very intelligent. And I think from the shows that he's done, all the seasons that he's done, like he definitely has learned a lot throughout those years. And the dude invented something that goes on the 747, so he must be pretty smart. But it's just really sad to see somebody like him, someone that would normally champion science, just kind of like regressing a little bit. He may say progressing because in their minds they are progressing. There's like, oh, we're being more open to all these different aspects and stuff, but kind of ignoring the hard science about just chromosomes, you know, just XX and XY. And we've always talked about, you know, these progressive or these regressives ignoring science and just living in disbelief and just, you know, just wanting to just make up all this shit. And now he's doing it too, and it's like, what the fuck, man? A lot of people say, oh, maybe he's just, you know, it's politics, like bringing the politics into the science, and that seems to be a problem a lot of times too, where a lot of things we disagree on because sometimes the science and the consensus seems like it could be a little shady. There could be some, you know, backdoor deals or stuff like that, some hush-hush money or whatever like that. Instead of just being completely objectable and empirical evidence, things are getting all fucking weird like this now. So I'm assuming you guys are pretty annoyed right now. You're like, well fuck this bullshit, man. I probably have a headache. Well, we're not done yet, man. I got a special treat for you right now.
This world of ours is full of choice, but must I choose between only John or Joyce? All my options only hard or moist. My vagina has its own voice.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Not vocal cords, a metaphorical voice. Sometimes I do a voice for my vagina. Please don't tell me I'm the only one who does that. Cause my sex junk is so much more than either.
I've come to talk with you again.
Dance, Skippy, home slice, sing it with me all night. Sex how you want, it's your goddamn right.
Because a vision softly creeping.
I don't understand who this appeals to. Like, honestly, even people that believe in all of that shit. You know, anyone that's watching this and you believe in this just a billion genders and non-binary stuff, did you find that entertaining in any way, shape, or form? Because it seems so fucking dumb. It's so fucking stupid. It kind of demotivates me to even keep doing this. It's at levels that it should not, like, science and this spectrum shit should not be on the same level. And just fuck me, dude.